You don't impress me. The true markers of character in a world of facades. Written by Candace Louise. Introduction. The performance we call life. Picture this. You're at a crowded restaurant, and at the table next to you, someone is loudly ordering the most expensive bottle of wine on the menu. They're name-dropping, flashing their watch, making sure everyone notices. Their date looks uncomfortable, but they're too busy performing for an audience that isn't even watching. This is the world we live in now. A world where performance has replaced authenticity, where noise has drowned out substance, where the desperate need to impress has become more important than actually being impressive. But here's what I need you to understand from the very beginning. True character isn't found in what you show off. It's found in what you build when no one is looking. Chapter 1. The illusion of expensive validation. Let me tell you what doesn't impress me. When I see you throwing money around at parties, buying rounds for strangers, flashing cash like it's confetti, that doesn't impress me. It actually does the opposite. Why? Because true wealth whispers while poverty screams. The person who needs to prove they have money usually doesn't have as much as they pretend. More importantly, they've confused having money with having value. I've watched people spend their last dollars on designer clothes they can't afford, just to look successful at events where nobody really cares. I've seen individuals take out loans to buy cars that will depreciate faster than their ability to pay them off. All of this, for what? For the fleeting approval of people who will forget about you the moment you leave the room. Real financial intelligence shows itself differently. It shows up quietly, consistently, in choices made over years, not in one night's grand gesture. Chapter 2. The pursuit game that never ends. Then there's the other performance I see constantly, the endless chase, running after every attractive person who crosses your path, treating dating like it's a numbers game, collecting conquests like trophies. This behavior reveals something deeply unsettling about a person's character. It shows someone who sees others as objects to be obtained rather than humans to be known. It demonstrates a fundamental insecurity that no amount of attention can fill. I've known men who could tell you about dozens of women they've pursued, but couldn't tell you the dreams, fears, or genuine thoughts of a single one. They mistake quantity for quality, movement for progress. This isn't confidence. This is emptiness, dressed up as charm. Chapter 3. Virtual lives, real emptiness. And then there's the digital theater that social media has become. The carefully curated posts showing rented cars, borrowed apartments, stage moments of a life that exists only in pixels. I watch people spend more time crafting their online persona than building their actual character. They're so busy documenting a fake lifestyle that they forget to live a real one. The saddest part? They often start believing their own performance. The line between who they really are and who they pretend to be online becomes so blurred that they lose themselves in the process. This digital desperation for validation has created a generation that values appearance over reality, likes over genuine connection, followers over true friends. Chapter 4. What actually impresses? Now let me tell you what does impress me. What makes me stop and take notice of someone's character. When I see you reading, not just any reading, but deliberate, purposeful learning. Psychology books that help you understand yourself and others. Financial literature that teaches you how money really works. Relationship guides that show you how to build something meaningful. This impresses me because it shows you understand that your mind is your most valuable asset. It shows you're willing to invest in becoming better, not just appearing better. Knowledge is the only thing that truly appreciates over time. While others are depreciating their futures for momentary validation, you're compounding your capabilities. Chapter 5: The Power of Genuine Investment. What really catches my attention is when I see you making real investments. Not the flashy kind that make for good stories, but the quiet, consistent kind that build actual wealth. When you put money into stocks, research real estate opportunities, or start a side business, you're playing a different game entirely. You're building financial freedom, while others are building debt for appearances. This behavior tells me you understand delayed gratification. You know the difference between looking rich and being wealthy. You're willing to sacrifice today's ego boost for tomorrow's genuine security. That kind of thinking, that level of maturity and foresight is genuinely impressive. Chapter 6: Love that stands the test of time. But perhaps what impresses me most is witnessing true commitment. Seeing someone who has been with the same partner for 5, 10, 15, or 20 years and still treats them like royalty. In a world where people discard relationships at the first sign of difficulty, where the grass always seems greener elsewhere, choosing to nurture one deep connection takes real strength. This isn't about settling or giving up options. This is about understanding that real love isn't a feeling that comes and goes. It's a choice you make every single day. It's deciding to build something beautiful together instead of constantly searching for something perfect elsewhere. Anyone can start a relationship. It takes character to sustain one. Chapter 7: The Competition That Matters. Here's the truth about all those behaviors I mentioned earlier. If you're engaging in them, you're competing in the wrong game entirely. You're competing with other people for external validation, when the only competition that matters is with yourself. Every day you have a choice. Will you be better than you were yesterday? Or will you waste your energy trying to impress people who don't really matter? The most successful people I know aren't concerned with what others think of them. They're obsessed with what they think of themselves. They measure their progress against their own standards, not society's expectations. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop performing and start building. You stop impressing and start improving. Conclusion: the day you stop performing, all of these immature behaviors, all this desperate performing, all this need for external validation, they're symptoms of something deeper. They're signs of someone who doesn't yet understand their own worth. The day you realize that you're living this life for yourself and not for the judgment of others, that's the day everything changes. That's the day you stop being a performer and start being a person. That's the day you understand that the only approval you need is your own. The only competition that matters is with who you were yesterday. The only validation that counts is the peace you feel when you look in the mirror. When you reach that level of self-awareness and maturity, you won't need to impress anyone anymore. You'll simply be impressive by being authentically, unapologetically yourself. And that, more than any performance or pretense, is what will truly set you apart in this world of facades.